let's get right into it. Remember in my last recap, I was talking about how Kookadoodle-Doo better not come back, and she's back again. Oh my God, but this has got to be the last episode. Like, there's no reason for her to come back again. I honestly can't believe they didn't just wrap up her segment last week. Like, really, you needed her to be on one more time? I hate when they drag storylines forever, for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, just give it to us all in 1 to 2 episodes. Don't drag it on for 7 weeks. My God. Well, in this episode, she finally goes home. She's crying a whole ton. She says she loved Chitty with all her mind, body, soul, heart, emotions, except for Victoria, because that dark energy was definitely coming from her.
And then I noticed Victoria out there, and then I understood why the heck I had that feeling. It was a very, very dark energy.
Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It's all bull. Chitty is home with his sister and his brother-in-law, and he's looking really sad. His sister and her husband, I think they were trying to make sure that he wasn't going to go back to her. So they were like, so what are you going to do if she calls you again? And he's like, no, we're done. And they're like, whew, praise the Lord. According to Rainey, he's probably going to reach back out to her like he always does, but she's not going to fall for it anymore. And I swear he better not reach back out ever again. And honestly, I don't think he will. Especially after all her psychotic racist rants that she's been going on Instagram. They're bad.
But I'm not gonna come back to somebody who treated me as bad as they did, because it shows that he listened to family and friends more than he would me. It shows that he didn't love me.
So she heads back to Albuquerque and she's like, I'm never gonna leave my farm again. Yeah, please don't leave. Like, please stay there forever. Please. Thanks on behalf of the entire world. Her kids greet her at the airport, and oh my God, I still can't believe she has kids. I really hope that they end up nothing like her.
Bye, bitch.
She says in the very end that she hopes to meet a high-tech monkey. And you know what? I hope you do. I hope you get what you want. Good luck, girlie. And again, stay there. Moving on to Brian and Ingrid. He picks her up at her house and her little boy greets him, and Brian has yet another gift for him, and he's like, come on in, come in the car, come, give uncle a hug, give me a hug, I have a toy for you. And it's like, are you really doing this because you care about the boy or because you want to get laid, you know? So they go to the beach together and they talk about the other day. Remember, he met her mom and then her mom completely, totally ignored him and was pretty mean to him, refused to have lunch with them. And he was like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, no. My parents are like that with everyone except for my ex. He's the only one they like and he's the only one they'll accept. And actually, in fact, I think they still want me to be with him. So he's like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
I'm really relieved that Ingrid's not relying solely on her parents' approval, but it still makes me nervous. The only person that Ingrid's parents have approved of is her ex-husband.
So they get on a plane, and 5 hours later, they get back to Brazil. It's 3 a.m. It's super late. Brian was hoping that this would kind of make Ingrid want to sleep in his room for a nice cuddle, but nope. She specifically requested her own room. Boo-hoo for Brian. He's so sad that his wiener won't have a warm bun to rest in. He's like, intimacy is so important to me in a relationship. I don't have a lot of time left on my trip. I really hope we get to explore that. Okay.
I do understand the pressure and the problems that we went through staying at the same hotel.
But I feel disappointed.
Because me and Ingrid definitely have a limited time to connect, and being intimate is definitely a part of that.
The next morning, they meet up. She walks out looking like a candy corn. And somebody said that in my live stream yesterday. I was live streaming on YouTube actually at first, but the YouTube copyright system detected audio. Can you believe they can detect audio now? So they shut it down after like 14 minutes. And so I went on Instagram. Basically, if I was just watching the episode, so the screen was of my TV and we were just chatting. So if you guys want to join, my Instagram is @PotatoRecap. If you don't have an account, just make a fake one. Not a fake one, but just like an empty one so that you can join. I don't know when I'm going to do it next, but let me know when you guys are available because I want you guys to definitely be able to join. They go on a bike ride and he ties a belt to the back of the bike. And at first I wasn't sure what he was doing and I was so scared for him. I literally thought he was going to lose his grip and tumble away or something really bad like that. But thankfully that didn't happen and it looked like they were kind of having fun. So they stop for some coconut water and everything's chill. The weather's gorgeous. They're having a great day. And then he gets straight to the most important topic of this trip, sexy time. He's like, so do you think you'll have some time to stop by my apartment and hang out together in my bedroom, on my bed, like in my bed, under the covers? Like it's really important that we can get to the next level before you come to America. And she's like, oh, no, I understand. Intimacy is important. And then he goes to another topic. I'm getting older. And as I get older, I'm going to need help. I'm going to need some help, like taking care of some things. And you're going to have to help. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, as we all get older, we're all going to need help, but I don't want to be a mother or a babysitter. Oh, what did you guys think of that? That was awkward. I feel like Brian has to address things like that because that's his reality. He does need help and he will need assistance, but there's a time and place. And that time was not the time or place. They're not even in a good spot in their relationship. Her parents hate him. The dad refuses to meet with him and the mom doesn't even want to look at him. So why does he think that he has to jump into, oh, when I get older, you're going to have to take care of me? Even she was like, oh, we're not there yet. Yeah, it's just don't bring all of this up to her already. Just like the whole urinary condom thing that he did the first night they spent together. Like as soon as he got there, he was like, this is how I put a condom on, see? Like now we know, because all he's talking about lately is sex, 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 sex. I need intimacy. I need that alone time. I blah, blah, blah. So gross. Moving on to Loren and Faith. So they're at a market buying dry fish, and I think they're getting things to gift to her mom because they're going to go see and visit the family. And when they get to her house, her family is so sweet. Her mom is adorable, and they're all kind of smitten with Loren, and they call him guapo. He's like, oh, what does that mean? A white man? No, it means handsome. By the way, I'm pretty sure guapo means handsome in Spanish too, right? Somebody let me know. I know I could Google it, but I'm holding a mic, so I don't have any free hands. We learn Faith's eldest sister, I think her name is Bea. She is also a trans woman, and Faith was inspired by her because growing up, she saw her put on makeup and grow her hair and wear dresses, and Faith was like, oh my God, I didn't know that we could do that.
When I was young, I see my trans sister wearing makeup, looks like a girl. So I think maybe soon I can do that also. So it makes me confident to be myself.
I thought that was very sweet. They all go inside and her mom sets the table with a bunch of Filipino food that looked really delicious. And Loren has the audacity to complain to himself. He didn't say it out loud. He was like, oh, I'll never complain to her. I would never say that. I would only say it on national TV so everybody else in the world can hear. So basically he was like, I like this food. Yeah, it's okay. There's a flavor missing. Like I wish it were a little bit more Filipino-y.
She made like a mixed vegetable. I would have chosen like slightly different flavors. I feel like I was missing like a little something. Maybe something Filipino-y.
Oh, he's so annoying. You know what I realized? He's trolling so hard. He's doing and saying whatever he can to get a reaction, to make, quote, good TV, to become a meme, to become famous. Like he knows what he's doing. So the family members are like, so what is the status of your relationship? And Faith goes, he's my friend. And nobody buys it. They're like, oh yeah, sure. Friend. Mom's like, you know, Faith is not a real girl, right? And he goes, yeah, that's just how I like it. I only like trans women. Not women, not men, trans women. I thought it was really sad that they all kind of made it seem like Faith wouldn't be able to find anyone better than Loren. Like she wouldn't have any options. And so I wondered if maybe that's where her low self-confidence comes from. Because they were like, whoa, Faith, you better give it a shot since you found someone who actually likes you. Like, that's so rare. You know, that's the vibe that I got. So the next day, Loren is out getting food by himself and he's doing an interview with the producer. And by the way, the food looked so good. I actually went to get Filipino food for the first time the other day. Now, I've had Jollibees, I've had lumpia because I had a Filipino coworker who would make lumpia all the time and bring it, and it was so good. And I like the Jollibee Filipino spaghetti, but I've never had like actual Filipino food. So my friend brought me to a restaurant and I had the best crispy pork belly. It was so freaking good. And then there was this noodle dish that I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a clear noodle with like vegetables. I can't remember, but that was also really good. It reminded me of a Korean noodle called japchae. But anyway, yeah, so wait, why was I talking about? Oh, so Loren was eating and he's answering these questions like, yeah, I think everything's going well.
Her family really did seem to like me yesterday, but I'm sure when she talks to her sisters, she's gonna tell them that I was sleeping with other women and got gonorrhea.
So while he's there, Faith and her sisters hang out, and this is where she delivers the iconic line. Did you hear of the illness of the whores? I mean, that is so funny. The way she said it, the way she delivered it, the way, like her facial expression and how she widened her eyes at the whores. It was just so good. So basically her sisters are like, so Faith, what's going on? You guys have been dating for a year, but you're calling him your friend? And she goes, I'm embarrassed to talk about this, but he has an illness. And they're like, what? And she's like, you know, the illness of the whores. And she specifies that he has an STD because he had been sleeping around with other women this whole entire time. So right now he's working on earning her trust back. And so far on this trip, he's been nothing but caring, generous, and kind. And her sisters have different takes, and I found it very interesting. So her trans sister was like, I'd make it work if I were you. And the other sister disagrees. And her trans sister was like, well, that's because you're not trans. Like, we are trans. Like, we grew up trans, so we don't have many opportunities for men to love us or something like that. Like, it's hard to find men who will love us. And I just thought that was so sad. Bea, the trans sister, she puts Loren on this kind of pedestal. Like, well, if he's caring and kind and treats you well, then he's a keeper. After all, he traveled all this way to be with you, so that must mean he truly cares for you. And Faith is like, yeah, I know. And then Bea goes, we're not real women after all. And that made me sad because, again, she's implying that they don't deserve, like, they won't get real love. You know, it's hard to find someone who will treat them right. And that's the part that made me sad. And Faith was like, yeah, I may be a trans woman, but I still deserve love. And I was like, yes, period.
Kung dili jud sa Pilipino nga kuan, sa sitwasyon na nga lang lady boy to a real man. So kay nakahibaw ko nga si Lawrence di ay na siya babae nga sa US. Murag naikuan ba? Murag medyo ano pa lang nagduduha ana.
So yeah, what are your thoughts about this episode? Let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!